everybody, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new tutorial. And I'm going to be featuring an interactive card that has a fun twist to it on the inside. I'm going to be creating a leaf launcher, and this is also sometimes known as a fling card. It's a very common paper folding technique that is used on the inside of a card. However, I made some adjustments to some of the different techniques that people use to create these fling cards to create something with a little bit more of a spring action effect. So today's card did use the Fall KIDDOS stamp and die set from Sunny Studios. I colored these images with Copic markers and used them to decorate my card. Now the main element that is throughout this card is the stitched wreath die from Simon Says Stamp, and I also used papers from the new Nitpicky collection from Fawn. I'm not going to show you how I created the entire card because this would have made the video extremely long, and I wanted to focus more on how to create the technique for the interactive element on the inside rather than the decoration of the card on the outside. So I decorated the card, and you can learn more details about that over on the blog, and I have the link down in the video description below. So to get started on creating your leaf launcher, you're going to need a piece of paper that is 6 inches by 3 inches. I have that paper right here. I've cut it from some pattern paper from the Fawn Nitpicky collection. I'm going to start scoring it. I'm going to score it on the back side, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see where I'm going to score my paper. I'm using a We Are Memory Keeper stylus to score at a 1/2 inch in from the left. Then I'll move over to the 2-inch mark, and that's going to create a second score line. Then I'll move over to the 4th inch line. This is going to be the middle portion of our leaf launcher. Finally, I'll make one more score line at 5.5. Now we're not done scoring yet, so let's move on to turning this now vertically in our scoring board and scoring it 1/2 inch from either end of this panel. Once you've finished your scoring, we're going to then go ahead and take our paper and fold in all of those score lines to get them nice and creased. So I like starting with the longest score line first, so I'll score the 2 sides over. Then I'm going to score all of the flaps that we've created horizontally across this panel. After you've gone ahead and folded over all of these different score lines, our piece is ready to add a few slits into, so that way we can create some tabs. So what I like to do is I start with the corners, and I just cut on either side to create a squared corner, and I did that for all 4 sides of this panel. That's going to give us notches in the 4 corners of this paper. Next, I'll go ahead and create little V flaps on either end of the score lines on the 1/2 inch flaps. So this is creating tabs. You don't need to make these V notches precise. We just need to create little tabs that will help make this paper easier to fold over. Because what these tabs are going to be is this is just helping reinforce and give your paper a little bit more of a sturdy feel. So you don't need to make this precise. As long as you have those notches right in the middle of each score line, that's going to give you what you need to be able to fold these over. So we'll add adhesive to those flaps and fold them over to the middle portion of our panel. And up until now, we've been working on the back side of our leaf launcher. So I'll go ahead and fold all of those over, and that's going to leave us with about 2 inches by 2 inches for the top middle portion of our leaf launcher, and then there's a 1/2 inch panel on each side. Now, the best thing to use is a rubber band for this leaf launcher, and I've got a fairly small rubber band here. We're going to need to create slits on either side of that 2-inch panel in the middle. I first start by creating a slit in the middle score line, right where the side panel meets with that middle portion of our leaf launcher. Then on the other side, about 1/4 inch down from the middle panel, I'm going to add 2 little slits, 1 on each side. So we end up with 4 slits, 2 on each side of our leaf launcher, and that's going to give us spaces to be able to add our rubber band to. So I'm going to add the rubber band first into the notches where we have it meet up with our middle panel, and then I'll bring it around and add it to the other end, and that's about 1/4 inch down from the fold. So we have this effect where this is now creating tension, and this is what's going to give us that really awesome fling effect when we open the card and create the leaf launcher. And it stresses the paper enough so that way when you open it, it gives us that really great fling effect. So we're going to attach this into our card at this point. In order to do this, we need to add adhesive to the 2 little flaps on either end of our leaf launcher. I use strong double-sided tape to make sure this doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to line this up into the center portion of my card. Now you'll want to make sure that this does not overlap with the fold of your card because you want this to lay flat inside the card once the card folds. And you want the portion of the leaf launcher where the rubber band is about 1/4 of an inch down from that middle panel to be the part that's closest to you. This now lets you fold that leaf launcher on top of itself and pin it down when you close the card. By doing that, that gives you the tension now, and when you open it up, automatically the leaf launcher wants to come forward. I did add some fun little embellishments on the inside of the card using those Fall KIDDOS stamps and a fun little sentiment from that stamp set. Now, we need a place to be able to put our leaves. I like using parchment paper because it's sturdy enough to hold the leaves in place, but yet not too sturdy that they're not going to not fall out. If you use too thick of a cardstock or paper, that will prevent the leaves from falling out when the leaf launcher springs. I have a 2.5 inch piece of parchment paper that I lined up into the middle of my grid transparency sheet, and that's helping me make sure I get these folds over in the middle. I will cut one of those folds off because that's going to be the top portion of our leaf launcher. We're going to nest that right into the center of that 2-inch middle panel, and I'll use just a little bit of double-sided tape to attach it down onto my leaf launcher. So I used the Stitch Leaf Wreath die set from Simon's Stamp to cut out a variety of different little leaves that I'm going to stick inside of my leaf launcher. I'm nesting these all in, and then I'll fold the 2 flaps and the bottom flap over so that way when I stick this now into my card, these folds are holding the leaves in place so that way they won't fall out until you actually open up the card. So when you open up the card, pop, all the leaves come out, and it is so much fun. I have shown this to quite a few people already, and they have loved working with this interactive card and opening it up and having the leaves just fall out. It's a really fun way to be able to add a fun interactive element to your cards. And I hope it's inspired you to try out this technique because it's really easy and not hard to do. You don't need any special dies or anything. All you need is a couple sheets of paper and some fun embellishments to stick inside of this leaf launcher because you could actually put anything you want in here. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back again very soon with more inspiration for you. But until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye!